Hello everyone, it's Nick Lawson with cdc-TakeCharge. This is our second video in our series on how to create a contact application in Alpha Software version 10 or 11. In our previous video we talked about the standard application which comes from Alpha Software as a sample on how to create an application in Alpha Software. We discussed the fact that when it loads, it has a navigation bar to the left, and then it has a lot of blank space, which is the background for the Alpha Software application itself. With a few simple changes, we can make it look much more professional and prettier for the user on their computer. So let's take and minimize their application, and we're going to start the application up with the changes that I've made. Here it is. Typical Windows 7 warning. There's our splash screen. And here you go. Now, as you can see, the same navigation bar loads, but it is not wrapped inside of the Alpha Software application. That's nowhere to be seen, and what you see is the background for the actual desktop on this computer. Along with this, when you take and select a button to open a form, they also open as floating forms on the desktop. Way cooler than having a form just pop up inside of all that massive blue space. If we want to take and look at another form, it hides the one form and shows the next one automatically. Same thing. We can also take and do print previews of our report just like you were doing before. The difference is that they open in Adobe PDF viewer rather than opening in the report viewer. The reason for that is that the Alpha application, the Alpha 5 development application, is actually hidden and can't be seen. So therefore, if you were to send a report preview to it, it would display, but it would display in that hidden window, which does you no good. So that's it. This will be our first little section. We're going to look at how this is done here in just a second. Over here I have a little hotspot. Alright, and that allows me to take and bring up the control panel, and then I can hide my forms. Now, when the application loads, we take and use the status line or command line to take and tell it to hide the Alpha 5 application. The syntax for that can be found in the help from the Alpha 5's wiki site. On the code editor, we set an auto exec function or script that simply just loads the form. Now also, what you can do if you have any variables that you need to set globally, this is a great place to initialize them so that they're available for the entire application. But in this case, all we're doing is loading the form. We use the form load method. We name the form. We call it pop-up, and we leave it blank, and by default it'll show up in the upper left, which is where I set it in the form design. But you could change that and tell it to pop up top left or bottom left if you wanted it to drop up at the bottom left corner of the screen, or maybe you want it to load on the right. You could set it to right top or right middle, right bottom, any way you want, or you could have it pop up center. So it's a simple way to take and set that form. Once that form is set, then it's a matter of changing the code on the buttons so that they also pop up. And here we go with that. So on push, here we're telling it that if the other object is showing, or if it's open but hidden, just hide it and then take and pop up the new one. If it's not loaded, then activate it and show it. If it is loaded, then all it does is activate it and show it. Pretty simple. And here's an example where I use the center and top to tell it to put the new form off to the right. Pretty much that's it. That'll be this is the end of the first section on how to modify the contact application. Look forward to new episodes. The next one we'll be doing is how to take and send that report to a PDF application. Thanks a lot and have a great day.